I'm Jenny.
And this is Healing Girl
Season!
This is our 4th episode. We're going to be talking about love and relationships, about like the romantic part of like
intimate relationships.
Sharing our stories and kind of like maybe tips that you guys can take from. And we're really excited to start.
Definitely cozy season, cuddle season.
Cuffing season.
Mm-hmm.
But we're very excited. I think love is a beautiful thing.
For sure.
And honestly,
love heals all.
Love heals all.
Yeah.
But sometimes we go through hard times. And sometimes we go through heartbreaks. And it sucks.
I know.
Because it feels like you're alone, but you're not alone.
Yes.
You know? I feel like heartbreaks, we have to go through this. At least every person should go through like a heartbreak in their life, just to, I feel like you can really learn a lot from that, you know?
Yeah, it depends on like the perspective that you take after that experience, because some people, they use substance to run away from it, and some people choose another path, which is healing. They choose to work on themselves, and they choose to reflect on what they need to improve from that heartbreak. So it really depends.
I actually wanted to ask Jenny.
Yes.
You can tell me kind of a story about your past heartbreaks. And, how did you overcome it? Because I'm inspired by you, girl. Always.
First of all, I'm grateful to hear that. I think personally, I have encountered a few heartbreaks. I wouldn't say that there is particularly one experience that I hold on to per se, but I think for all of those past experiences and heartbreaks I've had, I think of it, like we said before, I think of it as, what can I improve myself from that experience. So I always think of it as a positive experience. I know it sounds weird, but I think it was just a lesson for me to learn, and it was necessary at that particular time of my life.
One thing I learned is that you don't want to just be in a relationship. You want to get experiences and learn lessons from it too, So I agree with that.
I think of intimate relationship as an extension of my value and my own preferences. And when I had my first heartbreak, at that time I had very low self-esteem. That was around the time that when I first came to Canada. So I didn't have a lot of intimate relationships back when I was in China. So when I came here, I didn't expect anything, and the dating scene here is very much different from how it was back home. Back home, I'm not trying to be very stereotypical, obviously, but where I came from,
your experience.
Where I came from, Shanghai, what I've been witnessing as a child was the woman say what they want to do, and the men make it happen. That's pretty much the stereotypical relationship dynamic back home. That's what it's like in a dating scene. Obviously there are some different cases as well, but that's what I was expecting. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I didn't get to experience a lot of relationships when I was younger. So when I first came here, I was really, really obsessed with this guy, and he didn't give me a lot of attention, to be honest. So at that time I was like, what's going on? I know that I have the confidence, I have the talent, I have everything in a package, but he's not recognizing that. I was
excuse me?
Yeah, I feel
I'm caring for you, I love you.
My ego got hurt. That's what it was about.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a struggle of me trying to prove it to myself that I can.
And also just dealing with rejection too.
Yes, it was also rejection as well. I was probably 19, 20 at that time. Not saying that age matters, but it was just who I was at that time. I didn't know better, So I constantly feed into that loop of me trying to please him and hoping that what I could get in return was the validation. from him. And that didn't really work out. We weren't in a relationship. But that experience taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about like who I am, like at the core, like who I want to be and what confidence really meant to me, because being confident doesn't mean that somebody else have to tell you that you're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about how you carry yourself. It's about how you feel. You know, it's about like the way that you walk or even the way that you dress. You know, that's what it is. It's not about like seeking that approval from others, you know? So that's what I want the young generation, if you're watching too, to understand that you don't need a man to tell you that you're beautiful because you already are.
Yep. So true, girl. So true.
Yeah.
Also, to add that on, it takes two to tango. That's like one
That's
thing.
true.
And if one person cannot see your worth,
Mm-hmm.
someone else will.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like there's someone for somebody.
Yes, out there.
You know, that will. So you just gotta believe that
you just
like,
have
that
to
person
believe
is
that
gonna
will
come.
happen. 100%. I agree with that. Yeah.
But yeah, I have another experience a little bit similar to you. I was kind of with, well, not really with this guy, but just kind of been involved with him. Entanglement with him for 5 years. But like in between that, I was also dating people too. But he kept like popping in and out of my life.
Yes.
In and out of my life. You know, every time it's always like a new situation with him. But I always just was like, oh, no, it's going to work out. Like, you know, we're meant to be. Like, why would he keep coming back?
Right.
Like, why would he, you know, want to be, like, saying all these great things to me and then kind of just disappear and then come back again? I was like, this is fate. Like, I was kind of in my head.
Right.
And each time, like, it's funny because it's at this point, my friends are like, you already know what's going to happen next. And I'm like, no, it's different this time. And then, you know, that happens, he's gone, he disappears or something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I felt so heartbroken. Each time, imagine 5 years, like multiple times. And at this point, I'm like, wow, I think I'm asking myself for this. Like, this is just, but
you're allowing it,
basically. But at the end, I'm like, you know what? Even though I could be mad at that person, all of this is to really serve my highest good. You know, one time I sat myself down, I was just thinking in my head, in my heart, I was, you know, like things happen for you and you wanna, I just decided to see it in a different way. Like, okay, maybe he's meant to come into my life to teach me how to love myself more. Yeah. And teach me that I deserve better. You know, and it's still taking a while. I'm still trying to heal, you know, still trying to, because obviously 5 years and just us going back and forth is just a lot, but it really made me realize that I had to put myself first in situations, because I used to put him first all the time.
Totally.
You know, his feelings first. Like, oh, the times where he didn't, like, because for me, I think communication in a relationship is so important, you know? And when someone is not good with their communication, not being consistent, I feel that's kind of not a red flag, but just like that's not good, because you know you should.
I feel like it's almost like breadcrumbing though.
Yeah,
like
it is
they're just giving you the
breadcrumbing.
bare minimum, thinking that you will take it.
But honestly, that was what I thought I deserved. To be honest, if I kept sticking with him for the long run, he'll eventually turn around and like maybe want to change.
Yeah.
Because obviously there were other things happening in his life that he was dealing with. But I thought, oh, if I love him more, if I show him more love, or just be there for him, maybe he'll turn around and realize, hey, but then eventually I realized that people, even, I thought like maybe after 5 years, people still stay the same. It's kind of like something that I really had to learn the hard way, is that people don't change. Some people just want to stay the same, and you know, I have to just respect that, because I can't control someone's feelings, someone's growth, someone's, you know, so I have to really step away and walk away, because it was kind of draining my energy. I felt very
for sure,
very, very drained. So yeah, I mean, I could be mad at the world. I could be saying like, oh, you know, why is this happening to me? I'm a good person, you know, I give so much love, like why am I getting treated this way? But at the same time, I'm using this like realization, like I need to grow from this, like I need to learn.
I think another thing that I would like to add on to that is right now, whenever I think of a situation and perceive it in a way that's like, why is it happening to me? I tend to shift my mentality, because by asking why, you almost see yourself as the victim.
Yeah.
But now, instead, I like to ask myself, what is this experience teaching me? What is this experience wanting me to, like, learn from it? You know, I feel like it's coming from, like, almost like a curiosity mindset, if that makes sense. But yeah, I also wanted to talk about how you were talking about before. Do you feel like you were making excuses for those past relationships?
Yeah, I honestly felt like I was making excuses for him. You know what they say, rose-colored glasses?
Yep.
It was blinding me at this point.
Yeah.
I honestly was, it's crazy because you can see that person for who they are.
Right.
And you can see, like, I don't know, I just felt really connected to him, and I felt so much compassion and so much, like, empathy.
Right.
And understanding that I was willing to let him kind of step all over me and kind of take advantage of me. But, you know, at the end, I'm still trying to figure out, okay, you know, what's the whole purpose of all of this, you know, trying to, you know, heal from this, because clearly if I don't heal, I don't know if I will be able to move on.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, but gave me a lot of insight the past few months, because I think I've been just loving myself, to be honest.
That's good.
Loving myself, doing my own thing, not really focused so much on like the dating scene, kind of just letting things flow.
Yeah.
Letting destiny unfold.
Yeah.
You know, letting fate, and yeah, just working on myself.
What do you think are the ways that you cope with these kind of heartbreaks per se?
Okay, I have one thing to say.
Okay.
Actually, many things, but a big thing was, okay, I used to go to church.
Right.
And in my church, there was like a lot of like single women there, and they're just also talented. They were all like beautiful, and they were kind of like big sisters to me. And I remember one time, one of my friends, her name is Roz. Was Rosalind, that's Roz. She told me, she's like, Vanessa, always pray for your husband, like your future husband. Just remember that he's out there. Just remember that like God, you know, you guys, the universe has someone out there for you. She's like, just pray for him, even if you don't even know him.
Right, yeah.
Just send that good energy out. And honestly, that really motivates me. Like, she told me this when I was 16. And ever since then, I've been just praying. Like, once in a while, I'll pray for my future.
Believe.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah.
It's just like having that blind faith. Like, I know eventually, you know, that person will come. And just like believing that.
Yeah.
Obviously. But yeah, that's one thing I kind of cope with, just believing, having faith. And I'd say another thing is, honestly, just being happy with myself.
That's true.
I've got to be happy with
That's
myself
honestly
first.
so important. I feel like a lot of people, especially in this society, after COVID happened, we get into this very codependent relationship. We didn't want a relationship because we want to be in them. We didn't get into a relationship because we like that person, but it's more like we want to be in them because we want to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? We want that kind of company with us. So I feel like that's really important to like pour yourself some love first and get to know yourself. Like, what do you want? You know, what are your values? Like, what is your green flags? What turns you off? Like, what do you like sexually? That's some like very important like questions that you need to know on your own first, because otherwise, like, I don't know, like you're just gonna encounter the same problems. You know?
That's the thing. When you don't face your problems, that's what I realized. Like, when you don't face them, the universe is gonna find ways to put it right in front of your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just when you bury something for so long and you know it's something that you need to address, but it's just kind of, you're kind of maybe, oh, I'll just push it to the side, I'll like sweep it under the rug or whatever. I feel like it really manifests into like a situation or something happening that like makes you have to face it eventually. I don't know.
For you to be seen, you need to make yourself feel seen first. To make yourself feel heard first. I feel like at the end of the day, all we wanted as human beings is to cater to our own inner child. If your inner child is not happy,
So good.
like, you know, like as an adult, you're going to continuously suffer because your child is not happy. You know, that's something that I learned like the hard way, like coming from a very like traditional Asian household. I feel like from what I'm seeing, my mom is very much like, she's not people pleasing, but she's afraid to speak up sometimes. She's very talented, beautiful, giving. Like she has all the qualities that you want in a wife, in a mother. But from what I'm seeing, and it has, you know, affected me a little obviously because she's the first female model that she is afraid to speak up because she feel like her opinions doesn't matter. You know, so because of that, you know, like me entering relationship when I am an adult, I was doing the same thing in my intimate relationship. I feel like my opinions didn't matter. That's why I prioritize.
Just let them.
That's why I prioritized other people's opinions because I didn't feel like my voice mattered, you know. But honestly, I had to learn it the hard way. I appreciated all of those experiences because I wouldn't be here sitting with Vanessa having this podcast right now. We're literally vocalizing all of these needs and wants with you guys, hoping that it'll help you a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, that's actually something I also struggle with in relationship is just speaking up.
Yeah.
Speaking up and like setting boundaries. We all know what that is.
Boundaries, yes, so important.
It's I'm still learning about that.
Yes.
I'm still learning because
That's
definitely
okay,
I'm a yes man, so I need to I need to stop. But I remember when I was in like relationships, there were times where I was like, oh yeah, you know, let's say the guy was like, treating me really badly, like he was not returning my calls and just saying all these things, and then let's say he did something really shitty to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's okay, you know, he's just going through his season right now, he's just going through life, it's all good, he is going through stresses and complications, it's all good. But then I'm like, wait a second, this guy is literally not respecting me. But over here, I'm like giving him the space, like, what is going on here? What is going on here? Hello?
Yeah, no, for sure. Do you feel like when you're creating those excuses, do you feel like you're not listening to your intuition?
Yeah. I responded that so fast. Yeah. Because I think at the end, it's kind of, a lot of it was in my head. I think I was like creating this image in my head.
Right.
And it's like, oh, maybe, but I have to kind of just see who he is right now. Yeah. Because, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, so that's something I've been working on. Like, you know how, for instance, you gotta see what the person's actually doing, not what you would think they would do in your head, if that made sense. Like, if he is not showing up for you in person, but then in your head you're like, oh, eventually he'll show up or make, you know, it's not good.
Yeah, but what about right now at this moment?
Yeah, he did not show up. So that's what I was like, oh, okay, I need to really regroup and really think about, you know, what I'm putting out there, because clearly I keep attracting that all back. So I've been doing some shadow work, some inner work, meditation, praying, sending good energies out. Yeah, working on that.
Yeah, because especially if you're the one that's consistent with the effort and you see the other party that's not reciprocating, that makes you wonder what went wrong, right?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, is there something wrong with me?
Yeah,
I question that all the time. I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Did I do something wrong? Well, honestly, it's just not the vibe. Like, he's just not, or they're just not the person for you. Maybe right now, or maybe like never. Yeah. Maybe you gotta realize that. Yeah. Yeah.
I do want to add on to what you were saying, I think it's super important for us to listen to our gut feelings. Because our gut feelings, it's always right. Honestly, like
it's part of being a woman. Honestly.
When I went through my last relationship, I kept making excuses for my ex-partner, thinking that he would change one day. But in reality, I was invested in his future, not his present tense. It's like what you were saying before about not seeing.
In your head.
Yeah, it's not seeing clearly about who he is at this very moment. Like, I kept thinking, oh, if he do this, he'll be better. We'll have a better future. But no, like, what if like he's not gonna ever become that version of himself? You know, like, am I gonna stick through it? Like, I don't think so. I'm still so young, and I still have so much to give, and I know that someone will love me the way that I want to be loved. You know, so I stopped like just making excuses, and I started to actually tune in to my intuition. It's so important for you guys to do it.
Yeah, we all have it, and it's just like it's honestly a gift. Being a woman, and us having that kind of
like a sixth
sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many times where my sixth sense would be like, "Hey, you should step out, step away from this person."
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me just try. I'll just try. Like maybe like they'll turn around.
Oh my gosh.
You know, Barbara the Builder. I'm gonna try and see if this guy's gonna
turn
do a
around.
180. Not doing anything. You're like, okay, clearly, and then you're like, maybe I'll do this. And honestly, you cannot change a person. They can only change themselves.
That's so true.
You can't force someone to be a certain way that you like, because then that's also not fair to them too, you know?
That's true.
So that's when I realized, you know, I remember it's kind of like a project. Like I was like, hey, this guy's cute, and let me try to work my magic, and they're like, oh, no. Just find a guy that's already packaged. You know, he already got the goods, you know, so you don't have to. And that's why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to attract that into my life, manifest that.
By being that.
By being that, that's also one thing.
Yeah, because you can't have what you're lacking. I mean, your partner can complement well so much with you, but if you are expecting something that's so far from your imagination and you're not even there, let's say financially, I think it's really hard to make that relationship sustainable. If that makes sense. Like for example, I saw this video somewhere. It was talking about how all of those billionaires, what have left for them are the women. Don't quote my words for it. I think that's what the video was talking about. Are the women that prioritize a very lavish lifestyle, but they don't want relationships that are really meaningful. Meaning that those billionaires, their priorities are to get that check. So they're not gonna be there all the time for your woman. They're gonna be out there. They're gonna be working 9 to 5, working their asses off. So quality time, it's already off the check. Off the list, right? So pretty much what has left for those billionaires are the women that wants, I don't know, gifts. They want fancy cars, stuff like that. So if you want a husband that's like that, but you want a meaningful relationship and you want them to be there with you all the time,
you gotta set your intentions, I think, when you're looking for a partner.
Yeah, you gotta know what you want.
Yeah, because each relationship is so different and unique. Sometimes I don't even ask questions, so there's some things where I would hear couples say, and I'm like, well, this is a bit weird, but I'm like, this, as long as the both parties are okay with it, I'm like, okay, I'll let them do their thing. But yeah, setting your intentions, for your future partner and what you're looking for is really important, because you don't want to be with someone that has different values than you, and then eventually, in the long run, it's probably not going to go very well, because let's say one person is a saver and one person is a lavish spender, or one person believes in doing this and that.
So another thing that I wanted to say is the physical part of a relationship. I feel like most of the times your body will know when a relationship is not working out.
Oh my gosh, I have so much to say about that.
Yeah.
Because I had a friend that used to be in a really toxic and abusive relationship, and she would tell me that when she was with him, that her hair would be so brittle and dry. She would grow pimples. She'd feel weak all the time, and you know, like your body will literally tell you when that person's not meant for you, because your body will literally give you signs.
100%.
And so, but once after they broke up, that's when her hair started getting better, her skin, you know, and she ended up finding her now husband. So, you know what? Yeah, I totally believe, I agree with that. Like, your body does tell you.
For my personal experience, like, my previous relationship, there were a period of time that I just don't feel beautiful, like, at all. And believe me when I say I'm pretty much one of the most confident person you'll ever meet. Are you able to agree with that?
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Confidence.
I'm not like...
Good confidence.
Yeah, I'm not ignorant, but I'm just like, I don't know.
You know yourself.
Yeah, I know myself. I know, like, what I'm worth now.
Of course, honey.
So I know, like, I'm confident. I know I'm beautiful. But when I was in that relationship, I don't feel confident at all. I feel overweight. I feel like there's so much pimples popping on my face. I don't
think pimples are bad.
Yeah, and the most important part, I don't feel wanted. That's very, very important for a woman, because when you don't feel wanted and you still stay in that relationship, it almost feels embarrassed for you to keep staying in that, I don't even want to call it a relationship, in that situation.
It's like almost like you have to stoop your level to that person, and you keep allowing them to kind of still treat you like you're worth pennies, like you're worth nothing.
Yes.
And it's not a good feeling at all.
Yeah, and like at that time, I really thought there was something wrong with me. I thought that maybe I am not beautiful. Like, what was happening, it really got into my head. I thought that maybe I was the problem. But after I have broken up with him, everything changed. I'm glowing. I feel so powerful. I feel so confident. And now my partner makes me feel wanted all the time. He compliments me all the time. Like, you know, I think that's like very, very important for women to realize, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to all the women listening out there, you guys are blessings.
Yeah,
okay?
you guys
know
are
your
a
worth.
blessing.
If a man is not treating you right, listen, walk away, because that's the best revenge you can ever give to a man. Walk away.
Garbage bang.
Or I don't know, or you can, you know, obviously talk to him about it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
things about it. Communicate. I don't know, it depends on your situation, but let me tell you, ladies, you guys are worth it. Worth it.
You guys are a blessing.
More precious than all the gold in the world, all the rubies, all the diamonds, okay? When women, when us women step into our power and taking back all our power back,
the world has changed.
It's over.
The whole world's gonna change.
The world is greener. The world is greener.
There's no work going on. Everything is just love.
And you know what I notice? You know what I notice is that like men who pour into women, whether it's their mom, their sister, their friends, like, and not expecting anything obviously. I just know that they're gonna get so much abundance back, because that's just. It's like pouring into a woman and like investing and just like, you know what I mean, girl?
You know what they say, that if you give woman a kitchen, she will give you a full meal.
Yes, that's what I meant.
If you give woman a house, she'll turn it into a home.
Exactly.
So ladies just have to realize how powerful we are.
Yeah, honestly, we're letting these men step over us. We let these
no more. Preach.
We're letting these people step over us. Like, hello, no, thank you.
No.
I'm gonna hang up right now.
Yeah, I guess we can. I know you have shared some examples of how you cope with those heartbreak. I guess I can also share some of my own ways of coping them.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that I started doing, I know we've talked about this before in our previous episode about feeling anxious, but journaling really helps. Like, I remember my previous heartbreak, I was just feeling all the emotions. Like, every day it was a different kind of emotions. It wasn't just like grief. it was more than that, because a part of me feels sorry for myself, actually. I was so embarrassed of the way that I acted in our relationship. I was ashamed of who I was. I was ashamed that I didn't speak up. I started to like blame myself, you know? So there was grief, there was anger, there was jealousy, there was pain, you know? So I started to share all of those like emotions that was going on in my head onto a piece of paper. And although it might sound like easy to do, but every time I wrote on that piece of paper, I was crying. But it was so healing. Like, it was so healing for me to like just release that sort of emotions, because I'm not the kind of person to always like seek for help when I was going through a certain emotional roller coaster. I tend to go inward and I want to reflect. I almost went into that kind of hermit mode that I wanted to just be with myself, because I feel the most comfortable dealing with all of those emotions by myself, if that makes sense. So at that time I did that, and it made me feel so healing. And I did a lot of like bath. Water is very, very cleansing whenever you're feeling emotional.
You're taking a bath.
Taking a bath, yes. And I used a lot of like, if you guys have that, I used a lot of like, what is it called?
Bath salts?
Bath salts, yeah, bath salts. They're honestly so great. It makes me feel so healing. And if you guys want to try it out, you can also start journaling when you're in the bath. That's also really healing. And just listening to like healing frequency that can help you to meditate at a very calmful state. It will really like help you to ground yourself and to calm your emotions. And yeah, just find ways to kind of put yourself out there again, I guess.
Yeah.
That's also really important, is to realize that there are things out there for you in the world for you to appreciate. You know, whether that be your the event that you got invited, or your friends, you know, or even your family. You just have to realize there's more out there.
That is really good, Jenny.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, yeah, definitely. Journaling is the key to healing. When you really write down all those feelings that you've been bottling up, all those, you know, stresses and emotions you've been closed off from, like
suppressed.
Yeah, suppressed. I think that's a good way. And also, I think for me, what you said about water, I agree with that too. Sometimes when I get like really anxious, I'll take like a quick shower, and I'll just imagine myself like when I'm in the shower, imagine myself like washing my hair and getting all that like, you know, anxiety. That actually helped me so much. It really grounded me, because I really did imagine myself feeling this way.
Yeah.
And yeah. Those are good tips.
Yeah, and also set your intention when you're doing those, because like if you're just randomly taking a bath, it's not gonna do anything rather than, I mean, obviously cleaning yourself, but if you like in your head, you know, like talk to the water, like be like, oh, please help me cleanse, you know, for example, my pain away, you know, that's like setting intentions. And yeah, try it out and let us know if it works.
But anywho, I think we should wrap up this episode.
Yeah.
We are so happy that you guys are here to watch us, okay? What do you want to say, Jenny? Before we head out.
Yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know, especially the woman that's watching out there, like no matter what age group that you're in, that you are a blessing in someone's life. Like, don't ever forget about that. And it's their loss if they lose you.
Exactly.
Okay, don't ever
back.
Take your power back. Don't ever beg anyone else to stay. No. And yeah, we love you guys.
Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.